Hello, I'm teacher Karina, and I'm here to talk to you about historical idioms. Today, even though their meanings may have changed or developed, these expressions are still used. Most native English speakers who use these words and phrases in everyday conversation don't know the stories associated with them. They're often amazed to learn that a common expression like pay through the nose has a logical explanation. Hobsons Choice. This expression was inspired by an Englishman called Thomas Hobson, who lived in Cambridge during the early 17th century. He earned his living by working as a liveryman, hiring out horses to many of the university students. To make sure that every horse was used equally, Hobson invented a special system. When a customer came to the stables, Hobson insisted that he chose the horse nearest the door. So, although there were in theory many horses to choose from, in reality there was only one choice. Common forms of the expression are it's Hobson's choice or take Hobson's choice. Let the cat out of the bag. Many country fairs used to sell piglets which were put in bags so that they could be carried home. Unfortunately, some of the traders were not honest and put a cat, which was less valuable, into the bag instead of a piglet. It wasn't until the customer returned home that the cat was let out of the bag and the secret was revealed. Look a gift horse in the mouth. As a horse grows older, its gums recede and make its teeth look longer. So, if someone looks inside a horse's mouth, he's trying to check its age. The expression, therefore, described the situation in which someone found fault with a horse which was a gift. Nowadays, the expression can be used in any situation in which somebody shows ingratitude for an unexpected present or an opportunity. If the phrase is used as a command, it always takes the negative form. Don't look a gift horse in the mouth. Mind your P's and Q's. This expression has two possible origins. It could relate to the old custom of recording the number of beers a customer had to drink. P stands for pint and Q stands for quart. A quart is 2 pints. English pubs do not use this measure now. Customers had the number and size of their drinks recorded by the barman using either a P or a Q. Before the customer left the pub, he would be asked to mind his P's and Q's, or in other words, to pay his bill. The second theory is that it was a warning to printers who used to put together metal blocks to make up a page of text. Each metal block had a letter on it which was backwards, so that when printed it would appear the right way. Obviously, this meant it was very easy to mix up a P with a Q. Money for old rope. In the Middle Ages, hanging was a common death penalty. The hangman was the one who placed the noose around the neck of the condemned person and carried out the execution. He was paid for the job, but could make extra money afterwards by cutting the rope into small pieces and selling them to the audience. People used to think that the rope would bring them luck. One for the road. In London during the Middle Ages, prisoners who were condemned to death would be taken from the Old Bailey prison, now Law Courts, to Tyburn, now Maple Arch. The journey was along the straight road from the city to the West End in a wagon pulled by a horse. Before leaving, it was traditional for the prisoners to visit the pub opposite the Old Bailey. In the pub, the Magpie and Stump, they could have a large glass of beer or one for the road. The prisoners would arrive at Tyburn drunk and therefore would not worry about the execution to come. Pay through the nose. This expression relates to a tax imposed by the Danes on the Irish during the 9th century. The punishment for not paying the tax was to have your nose slit open with a knife, as an example to others. Run the gauntlet of something or someone. Although gauntlet is an English word meaning glove, this expression has nothing to do with either England or gloves. It originated from the Swedish expression gatlopp. Gata means gate and lopp means course, which was a military punishment in the 17th century. Two lines of soldiers would stand facing each other and hit the punished man as he ran between them. Now, running the gauntlet can refer to any situation which is unpleasant to bear because of the way you were treated. Sour grapes. Esop, the ancient Greek author, wrote one of his many fables about a fox. The fox tried to reach a bunch of delicious grapes which is just out of his reach. After trying for many hours, he eventually gives up. As he walks away, he says to himself that the grapes are not worth having because they're probably sour. Of course, the fox only has this opinion because he cannot have them. His opinion is just sour grapes. Remember that the expression is never used in the singular form. Steal someone's thunder. This expression was first used by an English playwright called John Dennis, who lived at the beginning of the 18th century. For one of his plays, he invented a way to create the noise of thunder. Although the play itself was a disaster and soon closed, everyone loved the thunder sound effect. It was used by others so much that Dennis said, "Damn them, they will not let my play run, but they steal my thunder." Stick your neck out. In the Middle Ages, prisoners who were given the death sentence were often beheaded. The condemned person had to kneel down and place his neck or stick his neck out on a block of wood. The executioner then chopped off his head with an axe. Today, the risk of sticking your neck out is not death, but the result may still be unpleasant if you were wrong or fail. Toe the line. This expression comes from the House of Commons in the British Parliament, where two red lines are painted on the floor, separating the members of the government from the opposition. A member of Parliament who speaks is allowed to stand on the line, but not to cross it. Originally, the lines were set 2 sword lengths apart at a time when the MPs were allowed to take weapons into the room. If 2 MPs from opposing sides drew their swords, they wouldn't be able to touch each other without crossing the line and breaking the rules of the House. Underdog. An underdog can be a person, animal, or country. A common way of using it is in the expression support the underdog. One theory about its origin is that it came from the time when dog fighting was popular. The dog who was strongest was called the top dog, which can be used of people today, and the animal who was more likely to lose was called the underdog. Upset the apple cart. In the days when apples were taken to market in a cart along badly made roads, it was easy for one of the cart wheels to become stuck in a hole. This would cause the cart to tip up, or be upset unexpectedly and spill the apples on the ground. It is this image which is captured in the expression which is used today. Inanimate things as well as people can upset the apple cart. For example, the discovery upset the apple cart, or his opinion upset the apple cart. It is also common to use an adjective to make the phrase more informative. For example, upset the financial apple cart or upset the domestic apple cart. Thanks for watching. Bye.